Hey guys, I'm Nick and welcome back to the channel. Or if you're new here, please don't forget to subscribe. This week I'm talking to you about episode 5 of Star Trek Lower Decks entitled Cupid's Errant Arrow. I feel like the show is really kind of starting to hit its stride now. I think we're 5 episodes in, we're halfway through season 1. And we're really starting to get a sense of the ship and the crew. And I think the stories they're telling now in these episodes are definitely feeling very much like Star Trek episodes in that next generation style of storytelling. So let's take a look through the episode and see what secrets we can unlock. One thing I'm starting to notice about the show is that they're always teaming up Marina with Boimler and Tendi with Rutherford. And it seems like the story that's always going on between Boimler and Marina is kind of the main thing. And so far, most of the stories involving Tendi and Rutherford have just been them kind of geeking out on technical stuff, you know, to do with diagnostics. It tends to be, at the moment at least, very much the Beckett, Marina and Brad Boimler show. I'm enjoying the content that's coming from those characters. I'd like to see a little bit more variety perhaps from Tendi and Rutherford though, because what they've been given to do so far seems kind of like it's getting maybe just a little bit repetitive. So in the opening scene of this episode, it was good to see a different class of starship. The last week's episode, one of my criticisms is that the two ships in the episode were the same class. So it felt like a little bit of a cut and paste effort there. But it was good to see this new Parliament class ship, the Vancouver, in this episode, just to give a little bit of variety to the ship classes in this show. And in this week's episode, the Cerritos is helping the Vancouver implode an unstable moon in orbit of a planet of aliens that are all arguing about how it gets destroyed and whose planet's going to get affected, because there's multiple different planets in their system and certain people live on one planet, other people live on another planet. And it's all a bunch of bureaucratic mess that they have to kind of deal with. And next we get to the main part of the story, which is Boimler being very excited about catching up with his girlfriend Barb, who is one of the officers on board the Vancouver. However, Marina is a bit dubious about this. She doesn't believe that he's got a girlfriend and that surely she must be an alien in disguise, or there's some sort of subterfuge going on. There's a nice little in-joke in this scene where Boimler says that his girlfriend is as real as a hopped-up queue on Captain Picard Day, which of course is a nice little reference to the Next Generation episode. Next we go to a scene with Tendi and Rutherford nerding out about technical stuff in engineering as they do some repairs and talking about some new engineering medical tool called the T-88, which apparently the Vancouver has. And they're getting all kind of, nerding out about this new scanning device. So as Boimler eagerly waits for his girlfriend to arrive, and Marina is still very skeptical she even exists, Marina suggests that she knows a Philosian on the Cerritos that she can set him up with. And this is a reference to the Philosians. There was an episode of the original animated series entitled The Infinite Vulcan, which featured these Philosians. They're plant people. And just when we think things are going pretty well for Boimler in the girlfriend department, we get to meet Jet, that Barb used to date. And he's obviously very tall and very good looking, and Brad is somewhat threatened by Jet. He says that Jet is like a Kirk Sunday with Trip Tucker sprinkles, which is probably my favourite line from the episode, which just sort of sums him up. So, it was a nice reference. We then get to meet Lieutenant Commander Ron Descent, who is maybe the chief engineer perhaps, on board the Vancouver, who gives Tendi and Rutherford a couple of these brand spanking new T-88 devices that they are just completely nerding out about and incredibly eager to get stuck into using. So Marina is absolutely convinced that that Barb isn't real. There's some weird hidden agenda there with her, and she reels off a whole list of different aliens that she could be. She says she could be a Romulan spy. a salt succubus, which is a reference to the M113 creature from the original Star Trek series, The Man Trap. She says she could be an android, she could be a changeling, she could be one of the sexy people in rompers who kill you just for stepping on the grass, which is a reference to an early season 1 Next Generation episode called Justice, with all those scantily clad people that Wesley steps on the grass and ends up being, sentenced to death for doing so. So there's a few little in-jokes here in this little string of potential threats that Marina reels off. So Marina is incredibly worried and has a bit of a flashback moment to a time where she was serving aboard the Keto, actually docked at Deep Space Nine, it would appear. So it looks like the Keto is an old Olympic class ship with the spherical saucer section, which, if my memory serves me correctly, was the class of ship that I think Beverly Crusher was in command of in the alternate future in All Good Things, the Next Generation finale. In this little flashback that Marina has with her back on board the Keto, she is having a drink with some crew mates. They're talking about Data's evil brother Law and how he teamed up with the Borg, which is a direct reference to Descent Part 1 and Part 2, the Season 6, Season 7 cliffhanger in Next Generation. However, if they're just talking about this now in this scene, it seems like they're wearing the wrong uniform, as these guys in this flashback are wearing the Next Generation feature film style uniforms, or the uniforms that we saw in the last few seasons of Deep Space Nine, which weren't really introduced, I think, until First Contact. This is a little bit of an error, I think, if they're only just talking about this moment. These guys should be wearing the Next Generation style uniforms, or even the Deep Space Nine or the Voyager style uniforms in this flashback. The fact that they're wearing the grey shoulder quilted uniforms seems like maybe a little bit of a mistake in terms of the time frame of canon and all that sort of stuff, if you just want to be a bit of a nitpicker about it. But still, cool to see a flashback moment here in the old uniform style. And now we see why Marina was a little bit prejudiced towards Barb, because apparently when she served on board this other ship, she was friends with another very attractive couple. One of them turned out to be an alien shapeshifter who subsequently ate his partner. So she's got some baggage there. Meanwhile, Freeman is busy trying to negotiate with the difficult aliens and relocate people from one planet to another planet, and it's all kind of going a little bit pear-shaped. Meanwhile, Rutherford and Tendi are in a Jeffries tube, and they're completely geeking out on this new T-88 device. It's all very exciting for them. Meanwhile, Marina is madly trying to work out what Barb's agenda is, and Marina even thinks that Barb might be a Suliban. A couple of references to old Enterprise stuff in this episode, with the Trip Tucker reference earlier, and also Suliban in this instance. So, in an effort to impress Barb and to compete with Jet, Boimler decides to replicate a montage of some of the coolest fashions from Earth from history and combine it all into one outfit. And I'm not sure Barb kind of really, appreciates this new fashion style from Boimler, particularly when he spills a beer all over her trying to be cool. So while Boimler is kind of trying to work things out with Barb, Marina decides to jump on her and pull her pants down in the middle of the shuttle bay because she's convinced that she's a reptoid and has a tail full of conspiracy theories. And as Barb and Brad go off to one of the orbital platforms to oversee the operations of this moon destruction, Marina finds a husk thing on the ground and is even now more so convinced that something is going on with Barb. And it seems like both Tendi and Rutherford get to have a T-88 because Lieutenant Commander Descent on the Vancouver has authorised a transfer for both of them to come and work on the Vancouver, which they're not really all that kind of happy about. And so convinced that Boimler's in trouble, Marina takes a spacesuit, spacewalks out to the orbital platform where Boimler and Barb happen to be, where she finds Boimler nude. Ready for some business with Barb. It doesn't go down too well with Marina. She didn't expect this. As the moon starts to get broken up, a jolt from the orbital platform makes Boimler fall and knock his head, become unconscious, where Marina and Barb start accusing each other of being evil and not what they seem and other agendas and all this sort of stuff. And a fight ensues. Meanwhile, Tendi and Rutherford are fighting it out with Lieutenant Commander Descent about being transferred, and Freeman is fighting it out with one of these alien local inhabitants. However, it turns out to be a whole lot of fuss for nothing because one of the moons is only inhabited by him and his wife, who is very, very, very rich. All this time, Freeman thought they were dealing with a situation with a planet full of millions of people. So he gets his planet destroyed, even though he and the wife had just recently remodeled the floors. So after a bit of fighting, the girls start to bond because they are comparing war stories of embarrassing things that Boimler has done in the past, and they start to bond. And soon enough, they become friends. So Descent is still chasing down Tendi and Rutherford, but they find out that in fact he wanted to transfer himself to the Cerritos and get off the Vancouver because he wants maybe a bit of a slower pace in his duties. He's like, it's so stressful. I got to calibrate Dyson spheres and go back in time and stop the person who's worse than Hitler and all this crazy stuff that all of the frontline kind of ships like the Enterprise, their sorts of duties, and he just can't cope with that. He just wants a more relaxed lifestyle. So he's desperate to get off the Vancouver and go over to the Cerritos. And he was hoping to swap places with Ensign Rutherford and Tendi. So after all that, Marina does detect a parasite, but the parasite is not on Barb. The parasite is in fact on Boimler, and he's a little alien parasite there in the back of his head that's been schmoozing the ladies, perhaps, wanting to take them out to dinner. A little bit of a Casanova he appears to be. It's been him all along, pulling the strings in the background. So Barb unfortunately breaks up with Brad, but she's off to study the parasite.
Lava, 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 lava. He wants to take her out to dinner.
Have fun, Barb. So Rutherford and Tendi are back on the Cerritos, and the transfer didn't go through, and it would appear that they happened to have stolen a whole bunch of T-88s as well. All in all, I enjoyed this episode. Had quite a few funny moments. It was an interesting story. My favourite line from the episode was, he's like a Kirk Sunday with Trip Tucker sprinkles. I think that's got to be the quote, I think, of the episode. So no, it was a bit of fun. But what did you guys think? Did you enjoy the episode? Did you think it was funny? Did you think it was interesting? Did you enjoy the story? I'm really getting into the groove of this show. It's definitely, finding its feet as far as I'm concerned. But you guys might have another opinion, and let me know about that. As always, leave a comment in the comment section. Don't forget to click on like. Don't forget to subscribe, and please feel free to check out all my merchandise, t-shirts and stuff in my merch store. Link in the description below. Some cool stuff in there. Check it out, and I will see you guys next time.